Mariner Books and HarperAudio present Riding the Iron Rooster by Train Through China by Paul Theroux. Read by Charlie Anson. To Anne. A peasant must stand a long time on a hillside with his mouth open before a roast duck flies in. Chinese proverb. The movements which work revolutions in the world are born out of the dreams and visions in a peasant's heart on a hillside. James Joyce, Ulysses. 1. The Train to Mongolia. The bigness of China makes you wonder. It is more like a whole world than a mere country. All beneath the sky, Qianxia, was one Chinese expression for their empire, and another was all between the four seas, Sihai. These days people go there to shop or because they have a free week and the price of a plane ticket. I decided to go because I had a free year. And the Chinese proverb, "We can always fool a foreigner," I took to be a personal challenge. To get to China without leaving the ground was my first objective, and then I wanted to stay for a while, in China, on the ground, going all over the place. The railway was the answer. It was the best way of traveling to Peking, Beijing, from London, where I happened to be. Every modern account of Chinese travel I had read seemed weakened by jet lag, an unhappy combination of fatigue and insomnia. "We were very tired there," is a common remark by travelers to China, the gasping sightseers and bargain hunters. This desire to sit down could be maddening in a country where everyone else was full of beans. Wasn't that the whole point of the Chinese? That they were always on the go? Even after 5,000 years of continuous civilization, they were still at it. And one of the lessons of Chinese history is that they never know when to stop. I had seen China in the winter of 1980. It looked bleak and exhausted, all baggy blue suits and unconvincing slogans on red banners. If you said, surely these people ought to be wearing something more than cloth slippers in this snow and ice, you were told how lucky they were, and that they used to go barefoot. The whole country was dark brown from the soot and dust. There were few trees. I went bird-watching, but saw only crows and sparrows and the sort of grubby pigeons that looked like flying rats. The rarer birds, the Chinese stuff into their mouths. The Chinese, then, would point through the drizzle to where a factory was coughing up smoke at the end of a muddy lane, where bent-over people were dragging wooden carts loaded with pig iron. And they would say, "This was once all prostitutes and bad elements and gambling and bright lights and dance halls. You were supposed to be glad this sinful frivolity was gone and fascinated by the factories." But I just sighed. I saw young women destroying themselves in mills, smashing their pretty fingers on wooden looms or blinding themselves doing finicky, forbidden stitch embroidery. An official Chinese statistic said that there were 70 million portraits of Chairman Mao on Chinese walls. People whispered when they mentioned his name. Stricken and overworked, they said, "Owing to the success of the great proletarian cultural revolution," and they served me bowel-shattering meals. Americans came back from China saying, "Acupuncture, no flies, no tipping. They give you your used razor blades back. They work like dogs, they eat cats. They're so frisky." And Americans even praised Chairman Mao, unaware that many Chinese were privately sick of him. But that was the past, my brother Gene said, and he told me that I would be a fool not to go now. China had become a different place, and it was changing from day to day. He knew what he was talking about. He had traveled to China 109 times since 1972 as a lawyer, one of the new taipans. I planned to go in the spring this time. I kept telling myself, new people, new scenes, fresh air and the pleasure of anonymity. There were two ways of doing it.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?